pro wrestling
podcast. This nonsense makes me want to puke.
He's gonna puke.
Quit dicks.
Lady Taco.
Lady Taco.
Shut up!
I'm not going to shut up. This is the podcast. This is the best pro wrestling podcast where we talk about the best pro wrestling in the world. My name is Tommy Stryker. Joining me is Taco.
What up?
Joe is here.
What's up?
And yeah, we got a lot to talk about this week because
what a week it's been. So much to talk about.
It was an overwhelming weekend of wrestling this week, but
yeah,
it was all good. Mm-hmm. I mean, we had 2 Ring of Honor Club shows on Friday and Saturday. You had 3 New Japan shows on Friday or Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. Mm-hmm. You had Money in the Bank on Sunday. You had NXT Takeover on Saturday, Raw and Smackdown on Monday and Tuesday. More NXT Today on Wednesday where we record this show.
More Ring of Honor TV.
Ring of Honor TV along with
Lucha Underground from last week.
Right. We should bring up, we're going to talk some Lucha Underground here this week, but we're going to be a week behind on Lucha Underground. So
I think just like everybody else.
Yeah, I mean, maybe. But just we're going to talk about the first episode of Lucha Underground that occurred last Wednesday, and so we won't be talking about the show that dropped this Wednesday. So there's just not enough time.
When things stick out too, we'll talk about Lucha Underground. Diving through it all.
Well, let's get right into it with our best of the week stuff, and I gotta get over to my other page here because the B is the best is over there. So as long as
the B stands for best.
I should probably start since we were just kind of talking about it. My best of the week was this whole weekend, the fans, the events, everything. I being a wrestling, a pro wrestling fan, just from when we were done recording the last week's podcast and watching that Lucha Underground to that Impact to waking up to fucking New Japan all weekend long, and then oh, fuck, I got Ring of Honor to watch. I did miss the second night of that, unfortunately, but I did get the first night out of it. And then Takeover, Money in the Bank, Raw. We just, went through everything. Everything was on point to me. I had such a fun time with Raw. I had fun with SmackDown this week. 205 was just, 205, still a good time. Nothing to frown upon. It's just such a good time to be a wrestling fan. And just when the stars align, everything doesn't need to be a fucking Dave Meltzer, 3, 4, 5 fucking stars. No, I just want to have fun. I just want some good fucking wrestling. I want to be able to shut my brain off a little bit, enjoy a fucking good show.
Yes, sir.
And yeah, some people out there will kind of get into it with like Alexa Bliss and stuff. A lot of people are kind of negative on that. I still smiling. There's some shit that people are just fucking like, oh my god, about. I'm still smiling. It was just every show was on point. Fans were on point. Everything was awesome. Like, fucking proud to be a wrestling fan this week.
I'm really interested to talk to you guys about most of the WWE stuff because, full disclosure here, I had company in town over the weekend and until earlier today, actually. So I did not get to see most of Money in the Bank. I got to see one match from Money in the Bank, the Daniel Bryan Big Cass match, and we'll get into all of that, of course. So I'm really interested to hear your guys' perspective on Money in the Bank. I know what happens. I've got the results. I read up on it. Same thing with Raw and SmackDown. I did not get to see the full shows, but I got the YouTube highlights. So I know what happened, but I didn't get the full experience. And actually, this was one of those weekends where, going into Money in the Bank, I was like, meh. But I was like, I really want to watch it now, but I just never got a chance to because there's just way too much stuff going on. So I'm really curious to get your guys' thoughts on Money in the Bank as we go along here. So, well, Joe, what is your best of the week?
The B stands for best.
Just NXT Takeover, all together. I mean, again, how many, event after event after event, you're going to have, whether you say it or there was a 5-star match in there, maybe a 4.5, maybe the lowest, but all the matches did exactly what they needed to do, progress stories. They showed off wrestlers. Again, whether Velveteen Dream won or not, both him and Ricochet walked out of there like on top of the fucking world.
That was such a fun match. And the spot where Velveteen Dream suplexes him off the apron to the floor, that's one of those spots that you always see teased, usually like in the middle
Well,
of...
he's been teasing it too.
But it's usually teased like in the middle of the ropes or something. Like, nobody ever gets suplexed out of the ring to the floor. It's maybe happened once in my life that I've seen, but there's not usually enough padding. They did it kind of out of the corner, and they did it, and then when I saw it, I'm like, wow, that was really devastating. And then I thought about, like, nobody ever does that. That's insane.
No.
Well, the one thing is, like, in the championship match, yes, there was one big glaring error, the whiff and miss of that black mass. But here's the thing. They moved on. They kept the match moving. The crowd was so fucking hyped. They're like, fuck it. Forget about it. We're already on to the next fucking move.
Exactly. You need that, though. It's just flaws. Not everything's perfect, and it does look... like rest in peace, Vader. A stage, a setup, a show, not a match, a wrestling event. So I like flaws like that.
Well, and yeah, he missed that first one pretty bad, but then he hits him with two more to finish him off at the end of the match.
They made sure to nail them.
Exactly.
That last one was like right on the top of his head, so it was pretty good.
Pick yourself up.
But I thought that kind of showed that Lars Sullivan maybe quite not ready for the big stage yet, not quite ready to get kicked in the face. Even though he took the next couple.
He's
were
a little hard
bit
to
better.
kick in the face too, though.
It's true, but
and he was throwing fucking Alistair around.
yeah, and then the main event, of course, I nailed it, right? Everybody was ready. Johnny Gargano won the first one. He'll win this one again, and we'll be over with it. But it was Ciampa getting that win back. We got to come back, and we got to have one more match now. It'll be SummerSlam weekend, mark my words. But just a hell of a match. They're brawling all over the fucking place, going through them tables off of the boxes. That was the whole story. Was Johnny Gargano wanting to fucking send him out on the stretcher, and then when he noticed that his fucking wedding ring was gone, he's like, "Fuck this asshole." It just attacks him some more, and then ends up getting DDT'd on the boards after the handcuffs come into play and all of that.
Such a Weasley win, and just the disappointment in the crowd. It was beautiful.
Just a sudden loss too, where it's just like, oh fuck, really? It's just the slimiest thing you can do, and he just looks like a fucking slug on top of him, just getting that 1, 2, 3. Fucking, yeah, that was brilliant shit.
What'd you guys think of the Shayna Baszler, Nikki Cross situation? I thought it was a decent match. I liked the finish with her just getting choked out, Nikki Cross getting choked out. But then I was expecting Nikki Cross to show up with sanity and be like that, who's that little crazy one? And then ripping her stuff. Oh my God, it's a woman.
See, and I just don't think we're done with this feud. Again, they kept her down there because,
she's the vet.
She's helping out. She's doing her thing. She's making Shayna look good. She knows what she's doing. She can go up to Sanity at any point and be an awesome surprise one night where, there's been a chick annoying Sanity on a regular basis. Well, we finally got somebody who can whoop your ass. Here's Nikki Cross kind of situation. So down the line, she could be awesome. But I think we get another decent match out of these two.
Yeah, it's interesting because for me, Sanity, the star of Sanity, the standout, to me is Nikki Cross. She was the biggest. Killian Dane is big and cool. Eric Young is, he came from TNA. He's the voice of the whole thing. But Nikki Cross was always the standout to me. So her not being up on the main roster with it, to me, is a bit puzzling. But I agree that you could still do some more with Nikki Cross and
let alone
Shayna
they
Baszler.
just showed up this week anyway, so we've still got time.
Sure, that she could certainly show up next week or any time in the future as well. My best of the week.
The B stands for best.
Hashtag the best. Hashtag the B. Whatever you want to say. Mine are the G1 Climax participants being announced. Yes, indeed. It's right around the corner.
G1 Climax.
But how about, out of all of the things, and we talked about this on Strong Honor, our Ring of Honor and New Japan podcast. Check it out if you're interested to hear more about it. But yeah, that B block is so loaded. So if you don't know,
it's the best block.
There are 2 blocks. It's round robin style. So everybody fights everybody else in their block, and then the two winners of the blocks face each other in the end, and then the winner of that goes on to take on the IWGP Heavyweight Champion at the Tokyo Dome on January 4th. So this is the biggest deal. This is the biggest wrestling tournament in the world, and this B block is fucking loaded.
Can you imagine Brock in the B block?
But no, you got Tetsuya Naito,
Blah, blah, blah.
Kenny Omega, Kota Ibushi's in the B block, so he'll have to take on Kenny Omega. Zack Sabre Jr. is in the B block. Tomohiro Ishii is in the B block. Juice Robinson is in the B block. And then, of course, Toru Yano, there to play spoiler in the B block. So, yeah, I'm really excited for the G1 Climax. We talked about it a lot over on Strong Honor. So check that out for sure.
It's one thing, again, like if you're into like following long stories, you got to check out these G1s. They tell stories that play all the way into Wrestle Kingdom in January.
Right.
So like really check it out if you're into that story-driven wrestling style.
Well, and again, because like Kenny Omega, he's the current champion. He's in the tournament, so if he doesn't win the tournament, who beat him along the way in the tournament, who's going to, and that will determine, the next people that challenge him on the way to the Tokyo Dome after the G1 Climax. And the other singles champions are in there too, the IWGP US champion and the Never Openweight champion. Chris Jericho, who just won the IWGP Intercontinental Championship, is not in the tournament. He is on tour with Fozzy.
So that rock and roll fucking lifestyle.
Yep. And so he will not be. He will not be in the tournament, and probably not defending that title until October when his when his tour is all over with. But who knows?
But then his cruise goes on sale.
Well, his cruise is
when is that even?
That's the end of October, so he's got some time in there. I think it starts like on Halloween actually.
Okay.
So there's that. All right, well let's move on to the some of the news of the week.
Pro wrestling news.
We have quite a bit of news for you.
Sad news to start with the passing of Leon White, Big Van Vader. Joe, I know you were a WCW fan back in the day like me. That was where he did some of his best work, some of his even better work over in Japan, of course. Never really got a good momentum in WWE, so I know, Taco, you're not as high on Vader, but...
Yeah, I kind of don't have, great memories of him, just... Boy Meets World and kind of hatred for him, but he was always the heel, so it was always like, that guy.
Right, but just innovative big man style.
Sure.
Really, just innovated that style.
He changed things for a guy who's close to 400 pounds or 400 pounds. I mean,
Fuck yeah.
He was fast, for a big guy. He changed the game. He used the ropes. Again, the Vader bomb is iconic. It's called the fucking Vader bomb.
Yeah, fast, hard hitting, clubbing guys in the corner with his forearms.
Well, wasn't it Vader that took McFoley's ear or part of his ear?
Ripped it right off.
Oh,
I believe that was
so.
that was a story, but I saw it. I mean, Mick Foley's just his tweet. I'm sure he wrote a huge Facebook blog as well, but just his tweet, just missing him, and just like the fact that he had the honor of wrestling with him. He will be missed, and again, just 63.
Yeah, it's too early, and it was a year or 2 years ago when it was like he came out with this awful diagnosis or whatever. They said he might only have 6 months to live, and so at least he made it beyond that. He had that match with Will Ospreay after the whole the deal from the Best of Super Juniors a couple years ago, where he faced Ricochet, and that match blew up on the internet. And Vader saw some gifs and put out some nasty tweets, and that led to those two having a match at one point. So
fucking Ospreay hitting the Vader bomb.
Yep. So fun little stories like that. It's sad that he had to go so soon.
And yes, he was in Boy Meets World.
Yep, though I saw some gifs today on that on Twitter as well. So he will be missed. Another guy that might be missed in the WWE, Big Cass got his release.
Not even best of luck in future endeavor either.
Yeah, I saw that people were kind of making a big deal about that he didn't get the typical verbiage on his release there. Sounds like it might have been several factors. I think maybe the biggest one that I had heard was the situation from about a month ago when he was supposed to go out there and give mini Daniel Bryan, the person, the little person that was dressed as Daniel Bryan. He went out and beat him up. He was just supposed to give him one kick, one of his signature kicks, and then stop. But he kept his idea was, well, to really get heat, I'll just keep beating on the guy after. He, quote, went into business for himself. And it's my belief that WWE is making an example out of him because we don't want people going into business for themselves. So but it sounds like there might have been some other factors too that I hadn't quite seen.
Like
yet.
I was reading, intoxication in public, ripping a bathroom door off, and just shit like that.
Interesting.
Honestly,
I hadn't heard those.
I'm kind of looking at the dude's on some bad. He has a bad fucking streak right now. Fucking just thinking about what kind of area he's coming from. No offense, New Yorkers, but they're kind of fucking meathead, tough, thick-minded people over there. It's true. So, in the entertainment business, it's hard to have a relationship in that. And seeing Carmella's success, I feel like that might be eating at his head a little bit. Fucking this injury's happening. That Enzo shit is happening. It's just the dude. I just don't think his mind is in the right spot right now. And I hope this release is the best thing for him. I hope he can go out there and kind of, do the Jinder Mahal thing or the Drew Gallows McIntyre thing.
Yeah.
Kind of just rebuild himself, get his head in the right spot, because that dude does have potential. He's huge. He moves. He was finally getting away from the Enzo thing. He was being put in the main event spot in some cases too, and that's also what I was saying. This weekend was such an awesome thing because that match with him and Daniel Bryan, I was like, oh fuck, he's doing some moves, he's changing things up, he's trying stuff, and it sucks. I really do think his head's not there. His head's not in the game. And
some people are saying that he hit Daniel Bryan with a burning hammer in that match, and that might be another reason for the release in there as well. That was the one match I did see from Money in the Bank, and it was a decent match. Probably Cass's best main roster match, but
exactly,
had a great dancing partner too. So
people are sitting there like, oh, he's been in WWE for 7 years and he's still green. It's like, no, it's quit throwing the green word around. Like he's still finding. He's been with fucking Enzo, for Christ's sake. That's been his tag partner.
Yeah, and honestly, I think him and Enzo got called up a little early.
Oh, 100%.
Obviously, in the situation, well, Enzo wasn't a great wrestler anyway, and he might be the first one to tell you. But well, maybe not, because I did hear that interview on the Store Horseman where he felt pretty good about himself, but he wasn't the greatest wrestler.
But he admitted
technically
that he wasn't. He's not a fighter. He never was. He fights on the streets because that's fucking where they grow up. But he's not a boxer like a Baron Corbin or none of that shit. That was a really interesting interview, and I really enjoyed the fuck out of that interview. And I appreciated that he was saying it sucks to go out there and how much he censored himself. I kind of wish I would have paid more attention to that because he never did say ass or damn or anything on TV. And someone like me who fucking swears constantly, it's hard to censor yourself. And when you're going out there to have to do a PG product and you're not really a PG guy, it's fucking tough. And he did a really good job at actually going out there and writing that kind of stuff for them.
At the same time, I hear what you're saying, but I also see the other side of it, to where here's a guy that just came up from NXT, but he's writing his own shit. He's got all these ideas.
They could have taken that power from him instantly, though, and they were giving him that.
Right. Well, yeah, but at the same time, he's going to have heat because here's a guy coming in who thinks he knows everything when in fact he's not very good in the ring. So yeah, he's a great talker, but when it comes time to do this other stuff, it's like, well, what are we doing here?
But his whole fucking career, he's walking a very thin line too, and it finally caught up to him. They know there's money there. They ain't stupid.
Right. Well, and again, just getting back to my original point, I think they both got called up early, not ready for that bigger spotlight, and obviously Enzo was probably going to be Enzo either way. He was just going to be him, and Cass was still trying to kind of find himself, and like you said, he ran into some issues here, got released. Now what's next? Does he show up in Impact? Does he show up in Ring of Honor or New Japan?
New Japan. Main event.
I could see him going to New Japan. He better get ready to do the Juice Robinson route if that's the case. Maybe not quite all the way to working in the dojo, but working his way up certainly like a Henare or Juice Robinson is right now. And that's,
CMLL.
That's a possibility. To me, for some reason he just smells like an Impact guy. That just seems like that would be.
That's not a bad thing right now either.
No, right now they got good talent there. They're telling good stories.
Keep his face on the screen.
I still haven't seen it recently, but it's one of those things where it's like it's on the list of things. I just never quite get to it. So it's something I'm looking forward to. He would work in Ring of Honor too. Look what they're doing with Punishment Martinez.
Sure.
So I think
they need some hard hitters like that too.
Yeah, and again, Cass hasn't done anything to impress me in the ring, and that's really what Ring of Honor is about: is having good matches. So I mean, maybe it's something he could improve on by going there. So that's a possibility too. Sammy Wow Wow is going to be taking a little bit of time off to determine what his injuries are.
Sammy Wow Wow.
He's got some nagging things that are bothering him. I think that's okay. I think it's a good thing for him. Maybe recharge the batteries, see what's going on, and
I hope this is just a work, and we're just going to get like a mini series of like Sammy Wow Wow and Lashley's sisters just hanging out. Like I would watch that right after Rough Ref.
I was about to say you were the kind of guy that would watch
Police.
Rough Ref.
No, you fool!
Oh, I already got my 4K copy coming in.
I don't get it.
Ring of Honor is out of Madison Square Garden. They apparently MSG had some chit chats with WWE, and so Ring of Honor is not going to be running at MSG next WrestleMania season.
WWE swinging its big old balls around.
Yep. And then we've had some new announcements or some new names to appear at Pro Wrestling Guerrilla's Battle of Los Angeles later in the summer. They usually do it's usually a 2 or 3 day tournament to determine the winner of the Battle of Los Angeles. And with all of the big indie names going to NXT or being exclusive, well, Ring of Honor guys can work PWG now, but with all the bigger names being in NXT, they're reaching into their pocket for some surprise names. I saw PCO is a guy that's going to be showing up there. That was one of his goals on this big comeback, was to make it to PWG.
Awesome.
And Taco, I think you had some other names.
Brody King was a name that stuck out a little bit.
Yeah, he's been doing some PWG stuff recently.
Fucking Joey Janela's been fucking tearing it up.
Yep.
So yeah, I've been looking forward to anything that guy's been doing. Just fucking nothing but clips on fucking Twitter. He's doing it right. Just party, have a good time.
So yeah, it's cool to see PWG bringing in some new names, basically out of necessity. And there's some names that I haven't even heard of that are
Bobby
they're
Eagle, Puma King. So yeah, good.
Yeah. So that'll be interesting. Again, I'm
learning.
Not following a lot of PWG over here.
No.
I catch a little bit on the High Spots Network once in a while. It's always kind of cool to follow it peripherally and just kind of see, or to hear about what's going on over there is interesting, because they're really they're kind of the what do you call it? They're not a gatekeeper to the indie scene, but like if you can make it at PWG or make a name for yourself there, you can get booked all over the country and go to these super indie shows like what we have in WrestlePalooza and AAW in Chicago, Wrestle Circus in Texas. You can start showing up at Impact and Lucha Underground.
You might be a security officer on WWE TV sometime.
Correct. So there is all of that. Before we get into some Raw and SmackDown thoughts, I know we got a couple of negative thoughts that we wanted to get into. Let's talk our pet peeves.
Sit, Ubu, sit.
Pet peeves.
Good dog.
Joe, what do you got for pet peeve this week?
I got this Ronda Rousey bullshit. I'm sorry. This is... it's just another fucking Brock Lesnar situation. Like, you're going to put her in this big main event situation, do this big lead-in into Money in the Bank, and then you're going to suspend her for a month the next night. Are you fucking kidding me? I don't need another person jumping in and out and in and out. If you were going to hold on, like, going to have her be gone a little bit longer, don't give her the title shot against Nia. She didn't need it. It didn't turn out to be that bad of a match. They both did what they needed to do for their characters and how they wrestle. But my God, really? Gone for another 30 fucking days?
Well, she can go down to the Performance Center and practice her next match with
And
him.
that's perfectly fine. I get it, but then don't put her in this situation. Don't put her in the main event for the title.
Well, aside from that, let's talk about the match at Money in the Bank versus Nia Jax. I saw some highlights. I thought Rousey looked good.
I thought they both looked good, especially Nia, at least at the beginning of the match. She was playing to what she is. She's got to use her power. She's got to just keep hitting these lariats, leg drops, whatever you can do. Just keep using the power moves. And again, Ronda looked a lot better in the ring this time.
I saw Ronda with that judo throw.
Again, the first time she did it, it catches you off guard. Like, you just didn't expect it to happen. I mean, whether Nia's throwing herself into it or not, it's still impressive. And
well, even the one on Raw against Angle, where all of a sudden she's tossing Angle's ass.
I promise you, Nia's not throwing herself in that fucking judo throw. That is all Ronda Rousey there.
Yeah, it looked like it was all Ronda.
That's what I loved, because it was, Ronda kind of getting worked up, worked a little bit, trying to get this pro wrestling thing. All of a sudden, you just see it click. Like, I'm an MMA fighter. Pop, 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 pop. Awesome. That's what you need to be fucking doing in there. Like, you're the monster. And then we see it on Monday night, too. And I loved it, because that's the Ronda Rousey where that fucking sucks your attention. Is like, she's off the chain. She's a monster. She's a maniac. Like, even when she was on Ultimate Fighter, climbing the side of a fucking mountain, screaming at Misha, innocent Misha Tate. Fucking, her name is Cupcake, for Christ's sake. Like, that's the Ronda Rousey that people fucking love. So I'm finally glad it's back, and I love that she's
it's going to be awesome in 30 days.
Good. Because now there's some explanations that they need to do. They need to fucking fill up this Nia rematch thing. So there's your 30 days.
I like this. I like the story of it, because Alexa Bliss is such a little piece of shit. She said, "This isn't UFC. This is everything I did was legal, except when you came out and got disqualified. You came out and hit her with the brief. It's not legal to hit somebody with the briefcase.
That wasn't her match, though.
It's not legal. It's not legal to come out and hit somebody with the briefcase. You can come cash in the briefcase, but you can't come out. And so it's all the hypocrisy and the bullshit. And she's just." Ronda Rousey's just standing there, just stewing and steaming and getting pissed off, and fuck you, bitch. And so she finally just has had enough, goes off, hauls off on Kurt Angle for having me stand here and listen to this bullshit.
She just seen red.
The referees come in. She takes them assholes out, too, because fuck all you guys. And she puts Alexa Bliss through the table. It's like, fuck, whatever, WWE. I'll whoop your silly candy ass, Alexa Bliss. So I liked that aspect of it. The suspension makes sense because she beat up all the fucking officials, including Kurt Angle. So it makes sense. But yes, I agree. It sucks that she has to go away. But then I like the interview as she's leaving. She's like, you know what? Yeah, I got to deal with this 30-day bullshit or whatever. But Alexa Bliss, whether you're the champion or not, I'm coming for you, bitch. So I like that felt nice and real.
But I don't need this. Like, I just keep her on TV. Do something. give me anything. But again, a 30-day suspension, meaning she's just gone for 30 days.
But it's like, I don't know. I feel so different about it, because it's not like she's just me out there fucking on the beach, fucking just slamming a Coors Light, getting on top of her husband kind of situation. No, she's gonna be out there fucking training, working her ass off, getting better. So it's just, I don't know, just she has a different drive that I'm like, fucking do it up. It's for the best. How just subtle Ronda Rousey is what they need to give to us, and when she finally does have that first match on Raw, it's gonna be fucking great.
Well, and it could be a Brock Lesnar situation where she might never have a match on Raw, and having her gone for 30 days of this whatever 45-day period between pay-per-views might be a blessing in disguise, because when she comes back, it's just time to hype up the next pay-per-view for a couple of weeks.
But if she's on Extreme Rules, you're going to expect her to be in an Extreme Rules match. I don't necessarily want to see that yet. I'm curious about her in-ring progress, because it's been fun. It's been so neat.
Well, there's no greater smoke and mirrors than an Extreme Rules, match full of a bunch of toys and garbage.
Exactly, and I don't want that with her.
Nobody does. But it's going to happen.
Yep.
Not with Rousey.
Maybe. Yeah, maybe.
Tables match. She's easy.
Oh, now that you said that, I'm sure it's going to be a fucking. Ronda Rousey's going to come back, and Alexa Bliss is going to put Rousey through a table, and they're going to have a fucking tables match. I'm sure you nailed it, Joe.
I was going to say it's past the 30 days, or it's within 30 days. So
they don't do. Alexa Bliss didn't defend the title for 6 months one time.
That's Alexa Bliss.
Well, and she's got the title now. So what do you expect?
She's been in the pictures for since
5 Feet of
the
Fury.
Women's Revolution.
All right. Speaking of pet peeves, what's your pet peeve this week, Taco?
The paper, length of some of these events. I'm not necessarily mad at a 5-hour pay-per-view. It was a good show. I had fun start to finish. I know a lot of people are butthurt in some of the spots. I'm not. It's just, fuck, towards the end of, Money in the Bank, it was like, oh, fuck, we still got another match to go. Oh, fuck, we got this to go. But it's also on Ring of Honor's end, too, on Friday. On Strong Honor, I said mad props to the Kingdom from not only starting, but also finishing that show on that first night on tour. But also, when they came out for that second match, I was like, fuck, this is still going? It's like, wait. Did night 2 play? So I'm kind of fucking around. No, that was night 1 still. So it's just it's awesome. I love it. It's just, it
is a lot.
It's a lot, but it's just God, I wish they would fucking have it like a board meeting or something. This is what we're planning because, we said on Strong Honor, this coming up weekend, there's hardly anything to happen. This would have been a great weekend for me to veg out on 7 hours of fucking WWE product on a Sunday.
Let's talk about since we're kind of on the topic of Money in the Bank with the Ronda Rousey stuff, let's just kind of go over some other stuff from Money in the Bank. Because, again, I was curious to hear what your guys' perspective is on this. The only other thing I saw besides the Daniel Bryan and Big Cass match was Kevin Owens trying to pal around with the New Day. Oh. This was so fucking good. I loved this segment. Big E just furiously drinking water. What is going on? And of course, the thing from E3 where Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks faced off with the New Day in Street Fighter 5, I think is what it is.
Something like that.
And Kenny Omega won the one-on-one matchup with Clinton Dix. Xavier Woods, Austin Creed on the E3 deal, and then because he lost, Austin Creed had to eat habanero peppers, and then so maybe that's why I didn't see Big E eat a pepper, but maybe he did. But he was furiously drinking water. Kevin Owens bringing in a pile of pancakes and
the finest Canadian syrup.
Yeah. There was Woods counting the pancakes like there was a stack of money too.
Well, and then when Kevin Owens was like, I don't even like breakfast. I guess toast is okay. Who likes toast?
They lost their shit.
And he loses his shit that Big E steals the Canadian syrup. So I loved that spot, that bit. Rollins beating Elias. The story of the match was Rollins gets the roll up with the tights because Elias tried rolling him up with the tights earlier in the match. So I guess you got a little bit of a situation there. But I like what they're doing with Rollins over on Monday Night Raw with him. He lost the championship to Ziggler after a little bit of skullduggery with Drew McIntyre at ringside there. Well, it wasn't a ton. It wasn't obnoxious. But Ziggler gets the win. He's going to invoke the rematch clause for next week. So that's giving me something to look forward to next week on Raw.
One thing I want to point out is everybody's doing the whole Shawn Michaels and Diesel comparison with these two.
Okay.
Throw in the fact that they're in the pair. Is Dean Ambrose ready to come back? Because Seth Rollins did mention in his promo, he's like, there's two of them, and I've got to think about that. Again, he's the architect. He's got to plan out for these things.
Well,
could we see a Dean Ambrose come back?
I instantly thought Roman Reigns in that situation because they've been kind of pairing those two together. But that's interesting because I haven't heard a lot about Dean recently.
He was backstage a couple of weeks ago, I believe, and then he was out
at a hockey game.
The hockey game on the Zamboni.
Oh yeah, I heard he had a good time on the Zamboni.
I would too.
He wanted to keep driving the Zamboni. We talked about the Alexa Bliss deal there with her winning the women's Money in the Bank ladder match and cashing in.
Just fucking think about her popping out her arm on Ronda Rousey and Ronda Rousey not giving a fuck. Her little fucking pop out thing she does. Yeah.
Roman Reigns beating Jinder. The crowd didn't give a fuck. They do all the chants.
Every chant you could think of. NXT, Johnny Wrestling, CM Punk, this is boring. Jinder sucks. Roman sucks. This sucks.
But one thing I liked what they're doing on Monday, though, moving on from Money in the Bank, is when Kurt announced we're going to do the multi-man #1 contenders match at Extreme Rules, and Bobby Lashley and Roman Reigns are going to be in that thing. Those little promos that they cut on each other on Monday, that made me see those two one-on-one. I was like, ooh, I hope we get these two in a match at some point. Which
I've never seen a Lashley promo. It made me want to watch him.
See,
not even this one?
This is the first time I feel like he really felt comfortable.
It wasn't even the little flub he had at the beginning. Just nothing for me.
He messed up a name. Fuck it.
No, I'm just saying. That didn't even throw me off.
I know. I'm just agreeing with you. I find that little nitpicky shit. He flubbed a name. Fucking let it go. You're not perfect. You go in front of fucking 18,000 people and try to not mess up.
Absolutely.
Yeah, no, I was into it. It made me want to see the match. I thought Bobby Lashley was talking some shit, and Reigns was like, whatever.
He's Reigns.
So, yeah, it was good. And Reigns came off heelish in the thing, so I was like, fuck it.
And the revival, forever buried.
Ooh, yeah. I mean, speaking of pet peeves, we won't even go there. James Ellsworth being back. He distracted Asuka after Asuka sold to Carmella, and he's back at Asuka.
I like that he shittily does her dance.
But I don't know how I feel. Here's the thing. I don't know. I guess this will be my pet peeve. I don't care for Carmella. I don't need James Ellsworth on my pro wrestling on Tuesday Night SmackDown. And the fact that Asuka is being buried, it pisses me off too. We had that awesome streak going forever and ever and ever. And then she have the big match at WrestleMania where she loses to Charlotte. And now she's getting distracted by an idiot James Ellsworth and then getting rolled up by fucking Carmella. And then one kick to the face takes Asuka out on SmackDown so that James Ellsworth and Carmella can, walk off happily ever after. I don't like Carmella. She's a good talker. She's a good talker. That's fine. She sucks in the ring. I'm over it. I'm sorry. We can move on. Do you guys have anything to say about James Ellsworth and Carmella?
I love it. I love the reunion. Bring them back. Get the fucking heat. I could feel it's fucking toasty in this room right now.
What? No, yes.
The problem I have with it is just, like, I wanted something just a little bit different with this newer promo. Like, I've been with you, Taco. Mella's been fucking money this last fucking, like, month and a half, honestly.
No.
But, like, I just felt like this promo was stale to me. Like, it was just the same thing.
That's
like,
why they brought Ellsworth in.
And that didn't even do it for me. Because, like, again, I appreciate Ellsworth, the fact that this guy's fucking making money, man. Yeah. He's doing what he has to do. But I'm with Tommy in the sense that I don't need him on my TV weekly. Pay-per-view, I can let it go. But I really don't need him on my TV weekly.
AJ retains in the last man standing match, gets his own revenge with the low
fucking match.
The low blow, puts Nakamura through the announce table with the phenomenal forearm.
Well paced.
It sounds like this might be one I need to go back and check out just because I saw a couple of highlights, but
in a weird sense, like you have to throw away the fact that it is a last man standing match, but it does remind me of New Japan a little bit. Again, it was a slower pace. They're working on each other, and then there's kind of just those little kind of almost lulls, kind of like you said, and then a huge spot, like I love it. It really just had a very New Japan feel to it.
Yeah, and that's kind of what we've been waiting for with these two. It's hard to kind of pull off with the last man standing because you don't have the near falls and the 10 count lasts a while, so there's a little less drama there. But yeah, it sounds like they put on a pretty good performance there. So, and then finally, Strowman throwing Kevin Owens off of a huge ladder. God. And winning the men's Money in the Bank ladder match. We had Kofi in there for the New Day, so
I win.
Good call there, Joe. Talk about this match.
I mean, it's a fucking insane match. I mean, again, love the beginning. Piling ladders just on top of Braun Strowman. Just ladder after fucking ladder after ladder. And then, again, you get everybody's, like, high spots. You're getting, like, amazing talents in the ring for a ladder match. Ah, fuck, I lost my train of thought there. Taco, go.
Fucking told you he would do this shit earlier.
It happens.
Yeah, no,
Hey, that was
it's
for Rousey, bitch.
This is kind of my problem was like this match was fun and everything, but I was fucking wiped by the end of this match.
Length of the show coming into play.
Well, just the length of the whole weekend. It was like I said, it was a good fucking weekend. I watched everything, so I'm burnt out Sunday night. I gotta be up 4 fucking a.m. and this isn't over until past 10, so it's like fuck.
It's tough.
But fucking good match. I like that everybody was on the same page of let's go beat the shit out of Strowman because Strowman's gonna kill us. I even like the point of everyone like, get up there, get the ladder, we gotta finish this shit. So yeah, I loved the focus on the Braun Strowman aspect of a lot of it, and Miz being this fucking slimy prick, just fucking perfect. Just everyone played their cards right, and it was a good Money in the Bank there.
I'm interested to see how this goes with Braun Strowman with the briefcase. He said he's gonna, as soon as Brock Lesnar shows up, he's cashing in. But we're doing a #1 contenders deal with multiple men at the next at Extreme Rules in 2 months from now or whenever the fuck it is. So how do you guys feel about Strowman with the briefcase? And is it going to be SummerSlam? Is it going to be on some random Raw when Lesnar shows up?
I really want it to be like one of the most random spots. Like I want Lesnar to literally show up with Paul Heyman and Braun just to be there. He's just there wherever he is, and every time, maybe even get a couple times where Brock just backs down. Just gets out of dodge and avoids it. But again, Braun has just always got to be coming for Brock. That's what I want to see, and I like you said, I want it on a random fucking Raw.
Yeah, I love the idea of Lesnar not being on Raw, not to be on Raw because he's Lesnar, but because he doesn't want to go because of Braun.
It gives a better excuse.
That's interesting. Yeah, that'll help get Braun over too. So, yeah, okay, good stuff.
I like that the green Money in the Bank case matches his green Greatest Royal Rumble belt.
All right, I want to talk a little bit of SmackDown here. We covered everything I wanted to talk about on Raw, but let's talk some SmackDown.
The subject: SmackDown Live. Players, I'm going to make this a tag team match.
That's what I thought. Whatevs.
Oh, SmackDown. A decent SmackDown, though. I mean, you take away the Ellsworth and Carmella stuff that I was ranting about, but Jeff Hardy cut a nice promo with the face paint on there.
When I first started watching it, my first reaction was, Jeff, the camera's over here.
Who are you talking to
He's
there,
just
Jeff?
talking into the background.
Jeff, it's over here. Jeff.
Did either of you watch the 24/7
No,
special?
Not yet. I heard
No.
it's really good, though.
Yeah, okay, cool. I didn't watch it either.
Good man.
What?
We're
No,
on
yes.
the same page.
Well, we'll get to that next week, I guess.
But this was Jeff Hardy at his best, and again, it's pulling in a little bit of that Brother Nero character.
Yeah.
But like using the big words and then just saying that I can see you now and turning. He's got the fucking white blind contacts.
Well, and he was doing that face paint with the eyeballs painted on it in Impact when he was there the last time.
It's much better this time.
Watching SmackDown makes me really want to go back and watch Impact. Be like, how did they fuck up? God, fucking Eric Young, AJ, Samoa Joe, like all the essentials are there.
It's true.
2 words: Eric Bischoff.
Yeah.
Hulk Hogan. What was the gal they paired up with Claire Lynch?
Yeah,
is another set of 2 words for.
All right, that was fun.
But I like that this is kind of set up Nakamura and Jeff Hardy. Nakamura beat Jeff Hardy last week.
And I loved how he really sold Nakamura's knee, how it was fucking shaking through Zeke Rebellion, and all this, like.
Those
but
big
it was
words.
cool that he was just doing it in that Jeff Hardy way, and this
Liquefied human flesh.
I've been absolutely loving the interactions between Nakamura and Renee Young.
Yes.
It's just they're so perfect. It's just like like,
You don't
what?
have to scream.
Yeah, you don't have to scream in there. Like,
The 10 count was fast, and he didn't do it in Japanese.
and then just her reaction, her selling everything. It's just like Renee Young is so fucking fun on the microphone back there. And God, who was another one? Daniel Bryan too. That was, just her interactions back there. And when he's just a fucking goofball like he is, it's like, God, she's one of the best, man. Like,
Absolutely.
I can't send her love enough. Like,
Absolutely.
but yeah, it's just like, this is the shit that we want out of Nakamura, and it's fucking great. And like, she's really helping with that too, with these backstage interviews, because it is fucking harder for him to go out there and cut, kind of essentially cut a promo against AJ Styles in a one-on-one. I remember the script. Ha ha ha. Oh fuck, that wasn't the name. He can't do that. I like him just being silly, with someone in the back. That's getting him across, and yeah.
It lets more of his personality out.
And then we had the 5-person gauntlet match where Daniel Bryan went through Big E and Samoa Joe, got the count-out victory over Samoa Joe.
Big E with a good showing in those first minutes,
dude.
man.
Yeah.
Again, he turned it on. And the thing is I was watching this, the day afterwards, and I'm looking at the length of how much show is left. I'm a little bit worried. I see what Big E and Daniel Bryan do right away, and I go, I'm kind of worried for everyone else. But I really feel like they covered their ass in this whole gauntlet match and did it right.
Yeah, because when Daniel Bryan came out, he interrupted the Bludgeon Brothers who were leaving.
Well, he should not have interrupted them. That was fucking rude.
I mean, they were having this great celebration, and they were just trying to leave.
Yeah, the celebration trudge.
Bludgeon Brothers!
Daniel Bryan interrupts them, and they get mad, and they say their name really loud.
Bludgeon Brothers!
And so they let him get a couple of wins, get his confidence up, and then right before that he's supposed to face The Miz, the match we've all been waiting for. Here come the
Bludgeon Brothers!
They take out Daniel Bryan. Miz
Fucking great.
Miz gets the quick win with the skull crushing finale.
Not a single fucking move was done except for the fucking Miz. You couldn't have done it even better. Keep us salivating for it.
Yeah.
I'm loving what they are doing with Daniel Bryan. I know fucking people are probably like, that's fucking stupid. I fucking just make him real champ already. No, I love that. It's just like, I'm not expecting him to re-sign his contract. I'm really not.
Yeah,
I'm
me neither.
convinced that him and WWE on the same page of him just doing the Daniel Bryan World fucking Tour. I don't care who it is in the WWE. I want to wrestle them, and that's what they're allowing him to do. And just, at first it was like, oh yeah, a little nod to when he was in the Wyatt family, and then them coming out and interfering like this. I'm like, yeah, I can do a Daniel Bryan Luke Harper match. Fuck yes.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm loving it. Like, he got awesome, he got some good shit out of Big Cass this weekend. We got to see him in the ring with Samoa Joe one-on-one finally. Like, it's just, this shit is great. And just seeing him go be number one for a gauntlet match is like, yes, is he going to go all the way? And just having our hearts ripped out and the Miz pinning him with his fucking just finisher done. It's like, oh my God.
It just adds to that.
It just, they're doing it right. And, it's just, I'm loving what SmackDown's doing right now. It's just subtle. It's fucking just keeping the show moving. It's not bad. I know people are just like, eek, what the fuck is going on?
Well, now my question is, who does Daniel Bryan get as a tag team partner to take on
Bludgeon Brothers?
I don't think he does. I think he...
Oh, there's only one man for the job.
Who is that?
Big Red Machine.
Isn't he SmackDown guy? I think he's a SmackDown guy.
It doesn't fucking matter.
I think he's a Raw guy.
He's the Big Red Machine. He does whatever the fuck he wants.
I do what I want.
I want just a quick...
I mean, AJ, that'd be kind of
a quick
cool.
reuniting of Team Hell No.
That would be fun.
Let's fucking...
That would be fun.
I'm telling you right now, because I saw it on Twitter, guaranteed, Ty Dillinger, it's going to happen. He's going to fuck everything over.
No.
No, what I want to see is I want to see him take them both on one and just destroy them.
That'd be okay.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be okay.
Start with Rowan,
wouldn't be
give
too
us
bad.
something to salivate over, and then give us the Luke Harper one.
Getting back to the gauntlet match, how about Rusev beating Miz to win the number one contendership?
Making him tap.
It's going to be Rusev versus AJ Styles at Extreme Rules.
Cool.
That should be cool. I'm a little worried that they might go back the heelish route with Rusev, but I think it'll be. I think
that handshake gave it away a little bit because Aiden English did his interruption, but when he knocks Aiden English over, Rusev's looking at him like, what the fuck were you doing? We were having a moment right now, kind of thing. I think we keep Rusev. Plus, I'm sorry, the smile he put on at the Money in the Bank briefcase when he was going to do the stack-a-lade to 3 dudes. He just turns around with that big smile on his face like, oh, this is going down. Like, you got to keep Rusev going with the people.
Sure.
Yeah, no, they got themselves in a good position there too. Because I was surprised that Rusev shook his head. I was like, oh damn, I thought Rusev gonna crush. And no, they got themselves in good position where all the heat can be put on English, and Rusev could still be fucking over.
And Rusev, I think they've had a match before, and it was a decent match, but AJ obviously came out on top.
I don't remember them having a match before.
I feel like they had one on SmackDown.
It could be. All right. I think that's it from SmackDown. Let's get into this week's retro recommendation.
Retro recommendation.
I know fucking. I gotta go back into this fucking week though, but
we gotta rewind.
We're back.
How can we not talk about fucking a Becky Lynch Charlotte feud? Like, there's subtle hinting there. I mean, we finally got some action out of Bayley and fucking what's her face, Sasha on Raw.
Lady Taco.
We have that shit. We finally have that shit progressing on Raw. We have fucking.
Hold on here. Hold on. I got to go back even further here.
Sit, Ubu, sit. Pet peeves. Good dog.
This back and forth bullshit between Sasha Banks and Lady Taco.
Lady Taco.
Sasha Banks and Bayley. They've been going back. They're friends one week. They're not friends another. One week they're hugging. The next week they're beating each other up in the locker room. Just be broken up or be together. Just tell the story.
I feel like Corey Graves started all of this just unannounced.
I'm hoping they're finally moving forward with this, though, because Extreme Rules around the corner, you finally have this fucking, they can do a backstage brawl or some dumb shit going on there. I just like that, I'm hoping, I should say, that they are fucking moving forward with this. I'm hoping, I really am. It just felt like it was really shoved in our face that it was being pushed forward for once.
Well, let's go to the Becky Lynch thing.
That's what I'm excited for, is like they're kind of hinting at that friendly rivalry with her and Charlotte, and it's like they don't need a fucking championship between those two to have a fucking killer feud.
Absolutely,
let's fucking do it. And I know I'm with people. Do I want Becky Lynch to have that fucking briefcase? Yeah, it would have been fucking great. She,
No.
it would have helped her more. She needs that. Also, at the same time, watching SmackDown this week, she needs another fucking finisher. When I see like New Japan and fucking Kushida is fucking dishing out a new fucking finisher once a year, or fucking Hiromu is, and
not digging the disarm her.
How many fucking chicks do we need to do a fucking armbar?
Yeah,
I'm over this shit.
I mean, hers is a little different, but
it's cute.
Yeah.
I'm over it.
It's like the Nagata one.
She's a great fucking wrestler. I want to see more of her. I want her to get a fucking like a Colossus kind of like boom, bam.
The
hit
Colossus
the move.
sucks.
I'm just using it as like an RKO, one of those like quick one and done moves. She needs something like that. Getting the armbar or the fucking disarm her, and it's like, yeah, that was so fucking fun in NXT 5 years ago.
You know what she needs? She needs one of these.
Flash of the Titus!
I can't not picture her rolling her eyes back now when she does the fucking armbar. Like, I just want her to do it once.
But I'm just really looking forward to this, because it's just that's a feud that doesn't need a championship between them.
I was trying to figure out the moment when Nagata was rolling his eyes doing the move, but he had the Super Strong Machine mask on because you couldn't see his eyes. Oh, that's a reference you only get if you watched New Japan this week.
Those masks are fucking cool too.
Yeah, they're not bad. What were we talking about again?
Becky
Lynch. Yeah, but no, I'm looking forward to it though. Like, it's just that's her story, is the fucking struggle. She keeps failing, so when she really does win that championship, hopefully it is against Carmella or something. It's gonna be a bittersweet moment. But just her and Charlotte right now, no title on the line, just straight rivalry. Awesome. That's going to be a stellar feud there.
And we talked about her good promo. The only good promo from the women last week was Becky Lynch's in the middle of the ring when they did the Money in the Bank Women's Summit or whatever. This week she had another great promo, but it was a YouTube only or WWE.com one. But it was, a backstage one. She's talking about like, look, I gotta get back in the main event. I gotta get some wins. I gotta win tonight, and it was good. But man, she's just really good at cutting promos.
She is. So, she just, I don't know. I like her. It's just, she's been the same since day one, really. Like, that's what I'm saying.
But she's good.
She is, but she's
okay.
She just needs something new where it's gonna be like, holy fuck! Like a win is her holy fuck moment. I want her like a finisher, a new move, like a fucking a moonsault off the top rope.
Clash of the
Like, holy
Titans!
shit! Like you know, like we don't get that with her.
I hear you. All right, let's go back to that other thing we were going to do.
Change the subject!
Retro recommendation.
Yes,
All right, we open up the creaky door of the WWE network. Where did my network thing gimmick go? That's good enough. This week we're doing seriously. I get so pissed off when I can't find where I put.
Oh no, we're good enough.
I know, I know.
Save Joe's. That's gonna be the new one.
I know it should be. So this week we're doing CM Punk versus Daniel Bryan. This was coming off of the CM Punk winning his trial last week. This was from
not his match.
Right. This is from 2012 Over the Limit pay-per-view. I think
that's the last Over the Limit.
Yeah, and this one, it was interesting because I think it was a dual branded pay-per-view, but they had the blue ropes, which made me believe it was a SmackDown pay-per-view, but I didn't look into it too much.
I think they're doing the Raw Super Show thing at the time.
Yeah, I think so. It was at least they had their own a unique pay-per-view set was kind of a cool thing there. And this was for the WWE Championship, the old spinner belt. And this was interesting too because
my old college name.
This was apparently CM Punk was about 6 months into his title reign. His I believe this was the
4-3-4,
the big long title reign. But it was a situation where yes, Punk was the quote WWE champion, but WWE never put that faith in him. He was never in the main events. He was third from the top here.
John Laurinaitis was in the main
John
event.
Laurinaitis and John Cena were the main event, and then the match after this was like Camacho and Ryback. So and then to top it off, I mean, this was the CM Punk reign ended, I think, at the Royal Rumble when The Rock beat him, so they could go to John Cena and The Rock for the championship at WrestleMania that year. So even though Punk was probably the most over guy, I mean, right next to Daniel Bryan, when these two come out, oh my God, this crowd is so hot. They're battle chanting back and forth. Daniel Bryan, CM Punk, and this was at the time too where Daniel Bryan was kind of transitioning from a heel to a babyface. He was the yes thing came from him being a heel and just over celebrating and doing the yes thing. So this was a fun match, good match.
I haven't sat down and watched a CM Punk match. Like I've probably seen random things, Royal Rumbles and stuff where he's been in it. This actually made me miss CM Punk a little bit. Like it really, like watching him with Daniel Bryan again, working with the right people. It's magic. These two are just having fun in the ring. They're throwing counter after counter after each other. CM Punk is hitting submissions. You don't see him hit in every match, like, because he's bringing out the special treats for fucking Daniel Bryan. And I love the finish. Like, even though it was one of those, kind of screwy kind of finishes. It's definitive, though. The thing is, when you see the replay, he got the roll-up, then he taps. That's what I love about it, is technically, he still won. He tapped, but he won.
So Bryan would release him, so he'd be okay. Essentially both guys won, but Punk won. No, it's just...
Because he didn't tap until after the 3 count.
But yeah, I'm with it. It's one of those matches where it made me miss Punk, especially. It's like looking at the roster NXT wise, people like Cassius Ohno all the way up to main roster, Samoa Joe, AJ Styles, Daniel Bryan, all people that fucking Punk wants to fight, and I kind of find it interesting, with that all that whole trial ordeal with his fight happening and everything. Someone asked him like, "Are you even watching wrestling or anything?" He's like, "No, I don't keep up with it at all, or none of it." And it's like, yeah, man, it's gonna give you the bug. That's why you gotta take yourself out completely. Otherwise, if you see yourself fucking,
Well, and he's so bitter at WWE.
100%. There's that bitterness there. there, and that's been his whole fucking life since he was, a kid too, essentially.
Well, and WWE is the one that he had that high passion for pro wrestling, and WWE just sucked that life out of him.
But I feel like if he really watched like AJ Styles and Samoa Joe, and there, there'd be that one thing in his head where he's just so bitter at WWE, but it's still just gonna fucking eat at him. Where it's just better just to not do it at all. Take yourself out of it. That way you're not thinking about it, you're not doing it. It's not in your mind. You're fucking training. You got your life now. You're fucking out of it. Like, I find it crazy that he has, it makes sense. It's an easy money maker, but, just selling CM Punk t-shirts and pro wrestling tees, that's still like, you're taking yourself out completely, huh, dude? But it's a money maker.
But that's the thing too, is that when Punk was in WWE was really the only way to make a living at it, or to make good money, or to make money worth coming out of retirement for. WWE was the only place to be, but now New Japan is a viable option, even in the United States. And with this all-in deal, does that become a regular thing? I could see some, Daniel Bryan hasn't signed his contract yet. I don't believe he is. I think he's got things on his bucket list, CMLL, going to New Japan and having big matches there, even doing stuff back with Ring of Honor again.
Takes a year to do all that.
This was an awesome match. This could happen in a New Japan. This could happen at an All-In 2, perhaps.
Well, and just throwing this
it's
in
big dreams, but,
I saw some All-In news, actually, just because you brought it up. I completely forgot, but they did say that it's going to be syndicated in some way. There is going to be a stream. Yeah, they are going to broadcast it and put it up live. So they haven't nailed down who it's going to be from the sounds of it yet, but they're trying to get as many eyes on this thing as they can.
Well, and I'm sure there's a lot, whoever, if you're a broadcaster, you're probably interested in it because there's interest there. So whether it's pay-per-view, Twitch, Fight TV,
Party Night at Tacos,
Access TV, traditional pay-per-view, like I said, those are all options, and they're all going to make money for the promoters, i.e. Cody and the Young Bucks. So, but yeah, getting back to the CM Punk and Daniel Bryan thing here, I think it's a possibility. It's a long possibility, especially for like a CM Punk. But for Daniel Bryan, I think it's going to happen, actually. So
I wouldn't be surprised
until I hear he's re-signed. I'm assuming that he's looking to cross some things off of his bucket list. All right, so
get it done while you can.
Yeah, make sure you check that out again on the WWE Network.
So what's that last high note?
Next week or did you have something else to add there, Taco?
No,
okay.
No.
For next week, in honor of the recently passed Big Van Vader, at the recommendation of David Bixenspan on Twitter, he writes for was it Dead? I think he writes for Deadspin, I believe. But yeah, covers wrestling really well. Has his own couple of podcasts, I believe, as well. But he recommended going back to 1992, and Big Van Vader had a series of 3 matches with Sting, and got some really good matches out of Sting, who wasn't necessarily known for having really great matches. So we're going to go back for next week. We're going to for sure watch Vader versus Sting from Bash at the Beach 1992.
I love Bash at the Beach. There better be a pool.
So if you want to, I might try to squeeze in those other 2 matches as well. Maybe we'll talk a little bit about those as well. But for sure, the one from Bash at the Beach 1992 for next week.
Maybe we'll make this a retro 3-wind.
Maybe.
Ooh, see what I did there? Ooh.
That's like a triple ooh.
All right, before we get out of here, let's get our match of the weekend.
Change the subject. Match of the week.
Joe, what is your match of the week?
I'm going to choose Aztec Warfare from the first episode of Lucha Underground last week. I forgot. It's different for me because I've just never sat down and watched really any Lucha Underground in order, minus the Ultima Luchas.
Right.
Pretty much. So like,
you'd come over here and I'd show you clips
whatever
of a
I
match
could.
Whatever.
But like, I want to sit down. Like, I'm really I'm dedicating myself on Luchas well, technically it'll be Thursday when I actually watch it, but I'm dedicating myself to actually catching Lucha. And again, It was a fun show. I mean, even the beginning, the fact that Dario Cueto's dead, you've got his funeral, and here comes his, what was it, father?
It's his father.
It's his father, Antonio Cueto.
Played by the same actor.
Same dude.
Except for he's talking like this.
And he's got a white eye.
Right. But it's in a new temple, very similar to the old temple, but a little bit of a different color scheme. We haven't seen all the different machinations and back rooms and hallways yet. So, but
they're still in office, though.
Well, yeah, still in office, but we haven't seen it yet.
I fucking like it. It's a nice change of pace. 3 seasons in the the original temple, and I love it. What made was Lucha Underground, but I like the change of pace. I already missed Dario and shit, but
I'm gonna miss Dario.
Just the blue vibe and just that yellow rope in the middle. I like just the oddness of it.
It was like WCW colors on the ropes with the blue and yellow. That was interesting. And then what was I also am going to miss Dario, but I love that it's the same actor.
Yes,
playing the father because he's so good at it. So that's kind of cool.
It just kind of leaves me wondering too, like right off the bat when they took the titles off, or it said that Dante Fox isn't going to be the champion, the trios champion anymore.
Right?
I was like, no, it's coming back later this season. What the fuck's going on? So it's kind of interesting to see how gutted their cast is for the season.
Right, I know that Dante Fox is still involved because he's tweeting nonstop about the new season. I feel like he's still going to show up in this season. There's going to be a reason why he's not, he wasn't there at the first night and why his title is gone.
So who did they put in his place? I forgot.
Son of Havoc.
That's right. Okay. And did they have a match or?
They were the first 3 in Aztec Warfare.
I love that they do shit like that. It's like, hey,
I remember
you're a team, fight.
That's right. I remember they were there, but then now you have to face against each other in Aztec Warfare.
I just love it because it's so gritty and so slimy. It's like Mortal Kombat to me. It's just like, I don't care. My rules, my temple. Like, just fight. My monkeys fight. So.
Well, and the part that I really like too is those 3 start, and you're thinking like Son of Havoc's the odd man out, but it ends up being Killshot eliminating Mac right away. Like, that was one of my favorite things. Mac's looking at him like, what the fuck, dude?
Also, I forgot that King Cuerno now has that gauntlet thing.
Yep.
He stole it from Mil Muertes, who got it off of Brian Cage, or just Cage, I guess, here in Lucha Underground. He actually won it from Cage because they had a match or whatever. So yeah, the whole thing was about the gauntlet match. And
but I just want to point out: are we just crossing over, still forgetting that Cage murdered a dude with that gauntlet?
They might come back to that.
I'm sure that'll come back to that.
Just squeeze the brains right out of his head.
But yeah, so everybody was in this Aztec Warfare. Joey Ryan, Mr. Pectacular, who's new to Lucha Underground. He was who was he in Impact?
He was Haha Klinde.
Yeah, I don't remember who he was. He was on Impact.
That's how great he was.
Pentagon Dark, of course. He's the current Lucha Underground champion. Tommy Dreamer showed up. Mary Posa was there, but she looked very different, as if it's a different woman playing the character. Vinny Massaro, he
brings a pizza.
Yes.
He had it delivered,
and then he got pinned on the pizza.
Oh, that was the best part.
Hernandez is back.
Slap the shit out of Pentagon Dark right away.
Yes, Johnny Mundo, of course. He faced off with Ricky Mundo, who replaced Angelico. It sounds like Angelico might be gone. Phoenix was there, of course. Jeremiah Crane, a.k.a. Sammy Callahan, of course. Mil Muertes with Katrina is back. He gets eliminated quickly. Daga is there. Chavo Guerrero comes back.
Yep.
King Cuerno, he looks a little bit different, too. But it might have just been his hair or something.
He changed his hairstyle.
Got a little fro going on.
Yeah. El Dragon Azteca Jr. back, of course. Cobra Moon brings out Vibora, but they're not in the match. They just cause a bunch of shenanigans, and, of course, Marty the Moth in there at the end. But
he killed it at the end with Pentagon. They had some fun to finish off that Aztec Warfare.
Which leads me to believe that we're going to get some more interaction between those two going
he's been
forward.
Working hard, too, so
Pentagon Dark wins the match, I believe. Was this for the Lucha Underground Championship? So he retains the title here in this reset of Lucha Underground. And then he's making, at the end of the show, Antonio Cueto makes Pentagon Dark versus his Yeah, grandson, Matanza. Yeah,
Yep.
or his other.
No, it's his son.
His son. Yeah, because Dario was his others, and Dario
brother.
was Matanza's brother.
Let's go back to the beginning for the fact that Antonio Cuerto, played by the same guy, he interrupts his own 10-bell ring.
Let's get on with the match. Ring the bell. All right, so cool. Lucha Underground Aztec Warfare was Joe's match of the week. Taco, what is your match of the week?
I'm gonna have to jump back to New Japan and go on that Hiromu and El Desperado match for the junior heavyweight championship.
Yeah,
like fucking just what a story. Overall, their whole history between the two, Hiromu always losing to him when they were young lions, and him chasing him all the way to Mexico, and then, I can't beat him. Oh, he went back to New Japan. Well, I'm going back to New Japan too to finally beat him, and still never fucking beating him, and winning the tournament, getting the championship. But only 2 or 3 people have ever done that in the history of that since they introduced that too. So just riding a fucking highway right now and going to a match with El Desperado,
who he lost to again in the Best of Super Juniors tournament.
Was it night 1 or
something like that?
So early in the tournament. So it's just so it's like, oh fuck, and how are you going to top a match that was like, holy fuck? What, 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago?
Yeah.
And they definitely put this match right up there with that other one. And, even kept, nods to old moves, the old spots, but kept it fresh, kept it a war. And, we go on and strong on her, but Desperado's mask gets fucking ripped off. And
he doesn't give a fuck.
Just his reaction of like, oh fuck. I don't fucking care. It was so great. It's just like, yes.
Well, because it throws back to, for the people that pay attention, they're like, oh my God, it is the young lion that these two faced off against for so many times. And we can see it now for sure. There's his face and he doesn't care. And he just, a couple of weeks ago when he had the match with Dragon Lee and got his mask all torn up, he was covering his face and his hair was covering his face and he was trying to avoid being seen. But here he was just plain as day, didn't give a fuck, bent over.
On the line. I can't lose this.
Yep, bent over, put the mask back on, and carried on, and then Hiromu finally beat Desperado.
Well, even with some shenanigans involved too,
of course.
Skullduggery.
Suzuki Gun is involved, of course.
But they took care of that right away, and fucking another classic between these two. I like both of these guys. It's really hard to root for one side or the other, but they do it. They put it in.
Well, for me, for match of the week, I'm going with Kyle O'Reilly and Roderick Strong of the Undisputed Era taking on Oney Lorcan and Danny Burch. 1 and 2, the opening match from NXT Takeover Chicago 2. Wow, this was just a hell of a match, hard hitting, back and forth, just so good. Fucking Kyle O'Reilly just. I love Kyle O'Reilly. I can't get enough Kyle O'Reilly, and he's in there against Danny Burch and Oney fucking Lorcan. And Oney and Danny, of course, lose the match. Kyle and Strong retain the titles, but they just gain so much credibility with the casual NXT crowd that's not necessarily paying attention. And so it's like a launching pad for these two, having such a good competitive match.
Especially starting off the show too.
Yeah.
It's like you set the pace. Like I wanted to bring it up earlier on the podcast when we were talking about Ricochet and Dream, and it's just like, it's like, who do they follow? That fucking tag match. And I was in a weird spot going into this pay-per-view because I literally, as I turned it on, their fucking Undisputed Era is walking up the ramp celebrating. It's like, god damn it, but I was like, oh, whatever. I was expecting it, and I get halfway through the Ricochet and Dream match, and I had to shut it off and go, so I didn't even get to finish that. And then, so I get home, and I start the whole event all over again, and I'm all like, fuck, that Ricochet Dream match was good from what I saw, but Jesus Christ, what are they doing that match to top this? Like, wow.
Yeah. Even just the beginning of the match itself, I don't remember who Danny Burch started off with. I just remember it being literally back, forth, counter, submission, back and forth. And none of that even like standing off like and waiting for the clap. from the clap, the clap from the audience. They just kept going at it, wearing each other down, and that's what I appreciate. Like, that was real wrestling. That was mat-based wrestling, and again, I enjoy that in a WWE ring because we don't get it as often.
Yeah, and even though you say mat wrestling, there was never a dull moment. There's always action and people running around and tagging and not tagging and just
Kyle O'Reilly on his back saying, "Come to me, bitch," is entertaining.
Yes.
Like, I need that.
Yeah, I love that shit. Yes.
Fucking Oni Lurkin, anytime he's out of the ring for an extended period of time, expect that energy to build up, and then when that tag is made, get out of the fucking way.
Yeah.
And mad props too to the commentating crew because they're down Mauro Ranallo, so I was kind of going in like, oh god, I want my Mauro, but no,
I didn't notice it.
Exactly. I thought they were all three, really good. Mauro's really high right now. Lots of love for the guy, but
yeah. I mean, it would have only been better.
100%
with Mauro, but I mean, Vic Joseph was fine.
Take away, yeah. It's setting more positivity out there. They did a fantastic job on that takeover, and I know like Percy Watson gets a lot of heat out there, and man, I like those guys, all three of them.
To me, Percy, he's just kind of a guy, just kind of a voice. Once in a while, he says something.
They throw stuff at him, trying to see if something sticks.
He does a better job to me than Coach or Saxon. Saxon's borderline, but Coach, he's so fucking bad.
Yeah, he's better than Coach.
Like, that should have been my pet peeve. Like, that's worse than the pay-per-view length is fucking Coach. Like, he's so insulting to the business in the middle when they're fucking wrestling. Like, he openly points out when there's rest holds when they're selling like it's like, dude, don't be an insider. Like, what the fuck? You are the reason why, it's so hard to have fun with this business right now is, like the first thing I fucking said to you guys when we came over is, hey, I hope you're all caught up in your UK spoilers. Because it's just like, fuck, man, I don't want to know this shit. Like, I avoid movie trailers for a reason. I want shit fresh. And when I hear Coach's smarmy ass fucking ESPN analytic mind, it's like, get out of here, dude. It's like, Percy Watson's fucking killing it. I'm enjoying it.
Nigel
less
stepped
is more.
up his game too. I think not even in a bad way. I just felt like he was more animated in this pay-per-view. And again, that's what you needed. You needed some extra energy to cover what you were losing with Mauro, and I think Nigel stepped up to that plate, like just throwing some zingers in there, getting excited, going, whoa, even just saying whoa really loud at the right moment can mean a whole lot to watching it.
And plus the fucking crowd had their back, too. In the Ciampa Gargano match, they even added the Mamma Mia!
Nice, yeah.
So it's like, the love is there for you, Mauro.
Yep, absolutely. All right, I think that's going to do it for this week's show. If you want to follow me on Twitter, go to at Tommy Stryker, spell Stryker with a Y. Follow the show at BPW Podcast, and go to Facebook.com/Best Pro Wrestling Podcast. Send us an email. Like, if you got an idea for a retro recommendation or a story that goes along with a favorite old match, send that to us and we'll read it on the show if it's interesting. Best Pro
If
Wrestling.
it's not interesting, we won't read it, though.
Right. Best Pro Wrestling Podcast at gmail.com for that. What else here? Make sure you check out Strong Honor. We talk all about the G1 lineups, the Kazuna Road shows, the Ring of Honor Honor Club shows from the weekend, plus Ring of Honor TV, and so much more over there at Strong Honor. And then make sure you go over to sltdwrestling.com.
Coming for you, Tommy.
Fantasy. Yeah, I'm falling to second in the predictions league, or the fantasy, one of the leagues.
I'm still less than 100 from the top. I'm going to make a comeback, I'm telling you.
So yeah, predictions league, fantasy league over there. Great fan articles. If you're into podcasts, which you obviously are, there's a Impact Wrestling podcast over there that you can check out too. So sltdwrestling.com. And Taco, where can people find you?
Follow me on Twitter at HGREV Taco.
And you can follow me, Joe, at Joe BPWP. That's at Joe, Best Pro Wrestling Podcast.
That's going to do it. Thanks for checking out the show.
No, that's my team name for the Mother's Day watch.
Rate, review, and subscribe. Bye.
Peace.
Oh, man, dude, that's gross. Yep.
Bob Roode.
What kind of stupid name is that?
This thing flared up here.
Everybody dance now.
Fuck the podcast. Let's do a whole Jock Jams podcast.
Oh, I'm down.